What's going on, Outriders? John, Jeff, and Matt here, Power 9 Games, Las Vegas, Nevada. What's going on, guys?
You know you want to do it.
Hey, doing good. How's it going?
Oh.
So, even though we make this podcast every week, and I'm the one that edits it and puts it together, sometimes my co-hosts here don't always actually listen to the podcast. So, Matt just found out today for the first time about 5 minutes ago that our intro includes the cat or the was it 22 Jump Street quote from Channing Tatum. My name's Jeff. Matt just heard that for the first time now.
I've seen people, clipping him in there. I figured there was something going on. But is there such a thing as a first-time listener, long-time fan? Because that would be me.
First-time listener, long-time contributor.
Yeah.
I mean, he has heard every podcast, right?
I literally
almost,
have.
yeah.
I mean, hey, remember that time we talked about the thing that we just did?
Yeah.
Except for the actual parts of the thing that aren't recorded here.
But dude, that killed me. You're hilarious.
We are 1 week into Clone Wars, huh?
Hells yeah.
Well, officially.
Yeah, God, it feels like forever since we recorded. So yeah, Clone Wars is now here. We're post RPQ, and Disney Plus is on the horizon. Star Wars Episode 9 coming around the corner.
I mean, you just TLDR'd the show before it even happened.
Okay, that's it. We'll catch you again in 2 weeks, guys.
2 weeks, yeah. So it was funny because I was putting my Clone Wars stuff together, and I don't know if it was like a subconscious thing, but I had Pacific Rim playing in the background, and I got to the reset the clock thing, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I got past all the battles. They closed the little tunnel to the other world.
Yeah.
And then it was the guy came on and he was like, stop the clock. So I had to send that to our group, and then I think it got forwarded on.
Wait, is that what that GIF is from?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pacific Rim.
Yep.
I forgot about it
Idris
too
Elba,
until they.
yeah.
I've never seen Pacific Rim. I thought it was like from Luther or whatever.
No. The first one's good.
Okay.
It's just a
It's an
action
awesome,
movie.
horrible movie. Yeah.
Okay.
The second one was terrible.
Oh, the second one was very, very bad. Very, very bad.
But the first one was good because of the animation or the CGI.
Yeah.
Like everything felt weighted. Like it wasn't, the robots walking around fighting. It felt like there was weight there. So the guy who did the directing of it was a good.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, he does amazing stuff.
Was it Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah.
What?
If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's a good movie.
So I have no interest in giant robots fighting each other.
It's good,
that
though.
thing,
There's
but-
also giant monsters fighting the giant robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, again,
Ron
not something
Perlman's
I'm
in
into.
there.
Ron Perlman's in it.
Yeah.
Is he just one of the giant monsters that fights robots?
His chin is, yes.
Okay, awesome.
He has horns.
Actually, it just
Go
looks like
to
his
hell.
character from the Beauty and the Beast TV show from the early 90s.
Jeez.
Which,
What were you, 2 when that was out?
pretty much, yeah.
Jeez.
I think if you told me that you were going to have like a Ron Perlman-sized character fighting against giant monsters, I would watch that.
Yeah.
I would watch that probably before I
I'm
would
going to
watch.
lie to you and tell you that's what it's about.
He does
Cool.
fight a monster. He does fight
He does.
one. Yeah.
He does. As a matter of fact, that is actually factually accurate.
Well, not that you spoiler alerted the movie. What's the statute of
I didn't say who
limitation?
won.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm assuming Ron Perlman won because it's Ron Perlman.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to remain in the dark on that one because I still have no intention of seeing it. Anyway, Star Wars, because that's what this podcast is about.
Ostensibly, yes.
Yeah.
Star
Smaller
Wars.
robots.
Yeah.
And
How about them knights?
The Imperial Knights, the Las
No, the
Vegas
Vegas
Golden
Knights.
Knights.
the Jedi
Yeah.
Knights.
I feel like we need to at least touch base with our hockey contingent. our Pocky contingent.
So close.
Yeah.
The Golden Knights are doing well. They're 8-4. Marc-Andre Fleury just moved into 7th all time in wins by a goaltender. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean we're doing pretty good.
Right on.
Pretty well. But I'm shocked that you're asking me about that because you don't care.
I care a little bit. I watched Letterkenny all in the space of about a week and a half.
Okay.
So, of course, now I like hockey.
Okay.
So.
You getting your chirps ready?
Yeah. I love Shorzy. I'm not going to say anything he ever has said.
I was going to say, we can't quote Letterkenny on this podcast and
No.
maintain the family-friendly atmosphere we've worked so hard
to
curate.
cultivate. Yeah.
Matt's already broken that rule a couple times.
A couple
hasn't he?
times.
There's a bag of anatomy and
Oh, that's
What?
fine.
That's advertising.
Okay,
That's out there in the wild. You can go buy a bag of dicks and just devour it, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
We
you probably
encourage you to
enjoy
do
the
that.
experience too.
yeah. What was the other one you had? Your Freudian slip. I don't remember which.
There have been a few.
No, there's been several.
Luckily, I'm like Marc-Andre Fleury on the editing station. Nothing gets by me.
Oh, wow.
Well,
nice. I think I tied that together. Yeah, that's good.
All right, so really though, we got a lot of stuff to talk about Star Wars related. This isn't. We can't just filibuster on this episode.
No. I don't know. I think that's where we're strong. But so the last cinematic trailer for Episode 9 came out.
Dude,
did you guys watch it?
I did.
I didn't want to.
I didn't want to either, but I have watched most of them.
You didn't want to because of the spoilers? You didn't want to because of the fact that you have to watch the terrible Patriots-Jets game that was included with it?
No, I skipped that.
I watched it. I was streaming that night, and then it went live after I got done. And then I saw a certain member of our community, which I am now ostracizing him from, and he was just lambasting. I was like, what could be so bad about this trailer? And I watched it. I cried. I screamed. I watched it like 2 or 3 times.
Because you realized that Rose was still in it?
I mean, it'll be fine.
As long as they don't go back to that casino.
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, I was excited before.
It's the end of the story. The third one's always the best, right?
Yeah, right.
Revenge of the Sith was the best.
Return of the Jedi was
not
the best.
Yeah, you had Jabba getting choked out, Boba getting thrown into the Sarlacc pit. What else happened?
Jabba, the one guy that they introduced in the third movie, and you only hear about from mentions in the previous ones until the CGI retrofitting happened in the late 90s.
I don't talk about that. I don't like talking about that.
You're a wonderful human being,
Jeff. Can we just take a quick moment and just... You really think that Return of the Jedi was the best of the original trilogy?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It had the
Really?
It was the wrap up of the story. Well, not the wrap up of the story,
conclusion.
but it was the conclusion
of that arc. Yeah.
Chapter 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Interesting. I've never heard anyone
Jabba's
that I
palace was
respect
fun.
say that.
Well, you still haven't. So
They rescued Han at the beginning.
I mean, that was
little.
Cool. That was cool, but it's not Empire cool, man.
No, Empire was by far the best.
Yeah.
They blew up a second Death Star. There were Ewoks.
I mean, not
AT-STs
all
falling all
of
over the
these
place.
things are like I don't know bragging points for the movie.
So obviously Empire had Tauntauns, and Tauntauns are the best. So
I mean, they're pretty good. I like them.
Objectively true.
Anyway, so the original, the new trailer looked awesome.
Yep.
I'm definitely excited for some of the things in it. Speculation about the ghost being in it? Question mark.
I don't know if I want to speculate too much.
Yeah, I don't want to do that either.
Because I feel like that just leads us down roads where we get disappointed later.
Yeah, that's why
I try not to form
wanna...
any opinions about what's coming out.
Yes.
I just want, that looks neat. That's a neat scene. I have no idea what it's related to. Not going to try and figure out, you have all these people breaking it down.
Oh, yeah.
Frame by frame.
All of my YouTube feed is now, hey, this recommended video is the 5 things we're most excited about for Star Wars. It's like
things you missed in the new Star. I don't care about that. Yeah.
Okay, we're not that podcast.
No.
I'm excited though. They had a lot of little small mentions. They had the VC 100 in there or whatever. Everybody's like, oh, that's the ghost. But
if you freeze frame on second 31.25, you will see what is clearly General Grievous's robotic bag of dicks flying through the background.
Unless he stopped at the fast food restaurant. I don't know if you can use it in this context, though, Matt.
I think he did, though. That's the whole thing.
Oh, gotcha.
There were some cool things in there, though. How many spoiler things are we gonna? Nothing, right?
Nothing. Right.
Nothing. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna keep sailing past, but I'm excited for it. The other big thing is Disney released a lot of their lineup for Disney Plus coming out. Yep. So we got, hey, All the Rebels is gonna be on there, bud.
I'm actually more intrigued by the Clone Wars being on there.
Yeah,
because that's
Rebels is a better TV show.
What?
Rebels is a better TV show.
It depends.
Once you get past the first
Clone
season.
Wars, I think, is as good as Rebels.
Well, yeah,
but with
later
different
Rebels
stories and different. I mean, it was a different scale too. It was galactic conflict with.
Well, I need to watch
Clone
both.
Wars. Yeah,
I need to watch both.
Yeah.
I actually went through because people have been like, "Oh, what characters do you want to see the most in the new Clone Wars set?" And people are all talking about the massage buttress and the
massage buttress,
whatever her name is. I don't know.
A move or a person?
Massage
that's an ability
or something
massage
like that.
buttress.
Yeah. So all these. So I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. So I went and watched one of those Watch Mojo top 10 videos.
Did you ever watch the Samurai Jack Clone Wars?
Yeah. We talked about that.
Okay, you did see that. All right.
Yeah.
Because Ventress is super badass in there.
Oh, I never
I only
actually
know her
watched
from
the
X-Wing.
show. I'm just aware of its existence.
Oh, okay. I've got that on disc. You can watch that.
Oh, okay. Honestly, the animation style in it just doesn't appeal to me.
You don't wait,
No.
but that's your generation is Samurai Jack. Come on.
I never really liked that animation style.
Okay.
Sorry. I mean, hey, you know what? Trying to justify my distaste for most animation, that's something you and I
fair.
are never going to see eye to eye
Yeah,
on.
that's fair. I just see Star Wars stories. I don't care what format they come in.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to get past the animation. I didn't like the Clone Wars animation, so it was a hard
See, I'm
one to
actually
watch.
okay with that, so that I want to watch. But there's a bunch of characters that I now know by watching a bunch of spoiler-filled YouTube videos about, like, oh, these are the best episodes of Clone Wars, just so I know who these characters are.
Sure.
I know them from X-Wing, so I go back and watch these, and I'm like, oh, that's that person.
Hondo.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to watch that. I need to watch all of Rebels. I need to watch
Didn't
all
you get through the
of
first? You were in the first
Mandalorian.
season, right?
I watched the first 2 seasons of Rebels.
Okay, so you're past the harder part. The first season was the hardest part.
Yeah, once you get rid of the slingshot, that
Yeah.
was really like that
Yeah.
was the biggest. That was the hardest part
Yeah.
for me to get over.
Sure.
Once you put that
Yes.
away,
Yep.
and
It gets really good.
yeah, it started getting good. So I just need to watch season 3 and 4. I think 4 is the last season.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it's
it
only
was
4 seasons. Yeah.
Yep.
I wish it was out now. So as I'm like spending days putting these droids together, I can
Oh
actually.
man, save it for the second segment.
Yeah. We'll get to our experiences with Clone Wars so far. The game, not the show.
I was listening to
fair.
Thrawn while I was putting clones together. The last book of Thrawn.
Good. So good.
Yeah.
Actually, I just started a new audiobook on Basilisk Station, the Honor Harrington. I guess it's a classic sci-fi series from
Oh.
the 90s. Really good so far.
I started.
Came highly recommended.
Not the Catalyst, the other one. Inferno Squad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me know how that is.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the character
Ivan
from
Verso?
Battlefront
Yep.
2?
Yeah. It's like
nice.
a 10-hour book or something, but yeah, I listen to it fast
Okay.
too, so I can get through it quickly.
Nice. All right, so that pretty much wraps it up for Star Wars news, right?
Yeah, that's right. Sure. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we just had a special visitor last weekend. Just quick shout out to our buddy Drew from Tennessee. He was out here visiting family or hanging out with family and stopped by. Missed our RPQ, but he was able to just hang out and
Yeah, last Saturday
have
for
lunch
the
with us.
launch event for Clone Wars. So yeah, I got to hang out with him for a bit. That was awesome.
yeah. He also actually put together my very first droid. So
Well,
I was
nice.
I was busy working on some stuff, and he was just kind of hanging out, and he offered to put some stuff together. I'm like, hey, do you want to
Take this droid.
You just
Like,
need to
that's
take
rude.
advantage of like 45 other listeners now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
everybody,
that's going to be our new contest for our Patreon listeners. Come
So-
assemble my droids.
We're actually going to be sending out the patches next week, and you will also get an unassembled droid for John. So if you could just take a minute to glue that together and send it back, that would be great.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks again for hanging out with us and assembling one of my droids. I appreciate that.
Are you not on board with this plan, Jeff?
No, I mean it's hilarious.
Okay.
I split a box or 2 boxes with a friend, and I got my clones, and I was like, "Look at these nice little baggies." And then I was like, "Here's your stack of plastic. Enjoy."
Yeah. Save it for the second segment, buddy.
So yeah, shout out to him, and he's also a part of another podcast, the 82nd Legion. So if you guys looking for another podcast to check out, it's
Yeah.
kind of a beer and pretzels podcast like ours.
Yeah.
So yeah, give that
Cool
a listen.
guy.
Yeah, good
Very
dude.
cool guy. And he brought his shot glasses too. So
He did,
Nice.
and I've already put mine to good use.
have you? Are you drinking your pumpkin spice out of those?
Oh, he's using it to store his B1 heads.
Yeah.
So he can find them.
Why are those? Never mind. Save it for the second
Both,
segment.
both pieces of them, yes.
We keep pushing buttons
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
But yeah, RPQ. So we had our Las Vegas RPQ.
Yep.
Was it
I made a
last
prediction
weekend? Yeah.
before it
weeks ago,
started.
yeah.
Yep.
I said you were going to win.
Yeah, that was kind of where it was between you two guys, and I think I was edging out John because I think he does a little bit better under pressure.
Oh, I did terrible
Yeah,
that day.
and you also did terrible.
Yeah.
So I did my very best to try to not win. I put the, voting the poll out there, like, hey, vote for what list
So
that
you
you guys want me to run.
countered the meta with completely unexpected choices.
That's probably what it was. So for those who weren't listening last week or
Oh,
didn't see
the
the poll
humility.
results, I ran a triple Wookiee double Tauntaun list. 3 bare naked Rebel Trooper squads.
Yep.
Leia with only improvised orders because the token diversity in that list was terrible. So I needed something to try to mitigate that. And then Chewie with naked Chewie and. Yeah,
Was he ever really naked? Well, all the time.
I mean,
Didn't have his bandolier.
he's got the bandolier, which I don't know if that counts as clothing, but But then then the 3 Wookiee squads, 2 of them had bowcasters, and the other 2 were the other one was without. So that's what I ran. I had no intentions of actually doing anything in it, and kind of stumbled into winning.
But yeah, when you told me
we
what
did
your
3
idea
rounds,
was,
and you went 3-0. So hooray!
When you told me what your idea was, like I started playing around with what I could fit in a list, and I was like, man, this isn't bad if you look at what was available in there. I don't know, a lot of health to chew through, a lot of. I mean, tauntauns are always great. I didn't really get to watch any of your games, but I thought it was going to win, and it did.
So I'll give you a quick recap. So first game I played against Keegan. He's one of our listeners from the Bay Area, California.
Such an awesome dude. I'm
Really,
so glad he
really
come
good
out
dude,
for
yeah.
the RPQ.
So he came down, brought a Jin Pathfinder list with Han, Chewie, and Jin. Yeah, and it was a good list, and the way he ran it was very smart. Unfortunately, he just didn't roll all that well.
Yeah, I think I saw his first attack. It was like 11 dice, and most of them were misses, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so he tried to shoot my tauntauns off the board. He stuck his Pathfinders out there, knew what I was going to do, and he basically just had to throw a 1-pip card out there so he could try to just get enough damage out on those tauntauns before they got a bunch of dodge tokens on them. It didn't work out for him. He left him with like 2 or 3 wounds on one of the models, which was enough to activate my tenacity, but not enough to actually make me lose attack dice. And once they got back into his backfield, I mean, they kind of just wrecked everything.
Yeah. Although I thought I heard reports that the Pathfinders are doing really well since the rebalance.
He said that he's had a lot of success with them.
Yeah, I think they're much better.
I've never thought they were a bad unit, just maybe not as points efficient.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, the weapon upgrade cost more points, so that's cutting into that.
Yeah.
The big one was Danger Sense, I think, getting that to be able to use it in melee and, it's great for Jen because she kind of, gets into trouble sometimes.
But like I said, he played the list well. It was a disarray with intercept the transmissions, and I think I maybe divided my forces up a little bit better than he did. He had just his
the FD tower.
FD tower in one of the quadrants, and I think I was able to overwhelm that kind of quickly.
Yeah, I walked over and you had 2 tauntauns running up to it, and then I walked back over later and it was gone, and I was like, some tauntauns got hungry, I guess.
Yeah. He also divided the fire, I think, in a way that was disadvantageous to him.
Yeah.
So it was a close game, though. So that was the first game. The second game I played against Daniel, who's one of probably our best players here in the local meta.
Yeah. Famous for his...
It runs a pretty much pure Imperial gun.
Yeah, but also the Star Tours landing pad table that gets posted everywhere.
Yeah. Definitely put together the best table.
It's pretty awesome looking.
Yeah, if you see any pictures, he invested a lot of money into those Star Tour vehicles.
Speaking of Star Wars news, they're going to be updating Star Tours with the Return of the Jedi footage as of December 20th.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So,
yeah, so he and I played on that table, actually. And this one, I think, went my way because of the fact that I didn't do what he was expecting me to do right away. So first turn...
You didn't know what you were going to do anyway, so...
I didn't at first. So, I'm running Leia and I'm running Tauntauns. So first thing I'm going to usually do is, throw out her...
Coordinated bombardment?
Not coordinated bombardment.
No Time for Sorrows.
No Time for Sorrows, thank you. The 2-pip where you get the free move and, I'll in turn get a free dodge token on each one.
I was just going to say Leia BS, but I think that covers both eventualities
much,
there. Yeah.
But with the map we were playing, we had limited visibility.
Okay.
Which kind of prevented me from him from being able to shoot me long range. But his first card, he was playing Krennic, so he dropped the not deploy the garrison.
The suppression one, right?
The suppression one, yeah. The 2-pip where you get
Annihilation Looms.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. No, not that one.
Oh.
The 2-pip that has the free standbys.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got Death Troopers, and he throws that out there first turn. All of a sudden, he's got 2 free standbys on 2 units of Death Troopers. I'm like, okay, so if I run at you, it's going to be a bad time for those Tauntauns.
Yeah.
So I hesitated. I held back a little bit, which allowed him to all of a sudden stack more and more aim tokens and more standby tokens. And then all of a sudden, I'm realizing, by the third activation, there's a line of Shore Troopers, Mortars, and Death Troopers that all have these standby tokens, just waiting for me to make that first charge in there.
So you just don't.
So I did.
So do not engage Lubu.
I basically decoyed everything, decoyed those 2 units up there, moved everything else to other objective points, and then when they finally came down to the Tauntauns, just moved elsewhere.
Yeah. Wait, so you didn't charge your Tauntauns in turn 1?
I didn't. And it was funny because if you look at it, he took a photo and it kind of anticipating that big brutal melee.
Yeah.
And he was borrowing standby tokens from me because he had I want to say he had 10 or 11 standby tokens.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard that statement ever.
It was ridiculous. I'm like, I don't remember ever seeing more than 2 standby tokens on a board at one time, but he literally had like 10 of them out there. Aims, on every unit. It would have been a bloodbath.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm just going to go around.
Yeah. I remember you asking during that, too. You were like, hey, can he have more than 1 standby? And I was like, no. And I walked over there and looked, and it was just, like a line. Like, you talk about Imperial gun line.
Yeah.
That was the...
I think we're going to upgrade that one to the Maginot line.
It pretty much was.
Yeah, you're just going through the forests of Ardennes.
So I'm just like, all right, well, I'm just going to go around Belgium.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
So, it actually ended up being a very close game, too. And last game... It was Anthony was the last guy who was undefeated.
Yep.
And I played against him, and with that one,
I think he had Boba Bosk, and Veers.
Yep. Yeah, double bounty.
Yeah.
And we were playing key positions, which when I was playing through it, I'm like, okay, this shouldn't be that hard because the three points. But then I'm remembering, oh god, he's got double bounty.
Yeah.
Like that's the one where having bounty tokens probably has the largest swing because there's the least number of victory points scored.
So it's the end of game, right? Turn 6, you score, and that's it, right?
Yeah. So he did get 1 bounty point on me for killing Leia, for killing Chewie.
Yeah.
Which basically meant either I had to get all 3 points or get 2. He gets 1, and then I had to win on victory points or on points, kill points, which I wasn't going to do. So this game. This is completely against my play style, and it hurt me to do this.
How much of your soul did you sacrifice?
All of it, what was left. I didn't do anything for the first 3 turns.
Whew, yeah. That would hurt.
I remember walking by, and I was just like, what is going on here?
He was trying to find every little window, crevice to try to snipe my guys through, and all these little firing angles and stuff. And I literally did nothing for 3 turns but take dodges and maybe maneuver a few points here and there. Because we're playing key positions.
You still got chipped away a little bit too.
Oh yeah,
I was watching a small but steadily growing dead pile, and it was,
But I held back as much as possible, and then come turn 4, I basically bum rushed everything forward, and it worked. I seized I think all 3 points or 2 of the 3, and kept him from getting the 3rd one. Like we pushed on one of them,
and that's what I appreciate about you, John.
Well, that's what he appreciates about me, huh?
I mean, there's a lot of hit points to chew through in those models, even though you're throwing white dice. But if you can keep them in cover, keep that heavy cover, and
that's really what did it for me in all 3 games was having more wounds than they can chew through.
Yeah, and
just reducing the opportunities for them to actually get a full dice pool out on them.
Yeah,
and lose a whole unit because the three Wookiees, that's 9 health or whatever? Or no.
Well, 9 if I'm running 3, but the ones with the bowcasters, that's 12 health.
Yeah.
And if I'm throwing them heavy cover, which they were almost always in heavy cover, we did play on some very terrain-heavy boards, which
I think is good.
It definitely helped me.
Yeah.
I was able to either use line of sight blocking stuff
we had
to advance.
Great boards. We even had some boards we didn't have enough players to use it all. But.
Yeah. So with Tauntauns and with Wookiees, I think the most effective way to use them, in my experience at least, is kind of counterintuitive to how you want to use them. Both the 2 games that I probably swung in my favor that I probably shouldn't have with the Tauntauns, I didn't just bum rush like crazy with them.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes them good is you can charge them in and put them in melee, maybe with a unit that's already activated, or you can hold them back. Pop out, take a shot, move back into cover. Like, they're a pretty versatile unit.
Yeah, the extreme speed just gives you that kind of... It gives you options.
And you have dodges for protection.
Yeah.
And with having the... especially on key positions where, charging through units that are packed together.
God, I love that.
Because all of those... with key positions, you're trying to get all of your stuff kind of packed around 3 different pieces of terrain. And, depending on the size of the terrain, sometimes it becomes a real, fight for every little inch of space to circle around that piece of objective. And, you make that turn 5, turn 6 charge with Tauntauns and
Displace
just
a
start
bunch of people.
barreling through a bunch of stuff, displacing units. And that's basically what I did. You know, I waited till the last available turns, and then if we would have gone to kill points, he would have destroyed me. I don't think I wiped out a single unit of his.
No.
Like, I barely killed anything.
Yeah.
I just picked the right time to make my charges and, you know, cleared things off at the right time. And Wookiees are great at coming through as cleanup units.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they're not great you know, they're not great on close combat. They're good at soaking up wounds, and they're also good at, you know, just absorbing as much damage as possible.
So they're the B1s of the Rebel Empire.
Kind of, yeah.
Rebel forces.
Yeah, I mean, they got a little bit more offensive, firepower, but I mean, obviously the bowcaster is great. But, you know, I spoke about it before, how, you know, Wookiees can be effective. You just have to, you know, fight every urge to charge them into combat and do what you feel like Wookiees are supposed to do.
Huh.
So,
well,
that was my takeaway.
If you hadn't noticed, every time John now shows up with his box of, you know, Legion, he's still got that trophy just sitting there on the top. Just kind of like, oh, let me just put that out. Oh, look at that.
It's because it was literally
first place. There it is.
It's literally in my box with like all my cards and my.
Let me get this out of the way.
Yeah, here.
Put it
Let
right
me,
in the middle of the board.
I don't know why I keep carrying this thing around. It's so heavy, you know.
We'll use this as terrain. You have to go around this.
You know, but after that win, I shaved off my beard, and I think I'm like 0-2 since then. So,
well, there you go. That was your winning beard.
Yeah. So I'm, you know, like Samson, shave off my beard, and now I'm.
Why'd you shave it off? It was for your baseball team, right?
Well, no, it's for the hockey team.
For your hockey team, okay.
I brought a preseason.
Are they doing better now?
They are, yeah.
Okay.
I brought a preseason beard into the
Oh.
regular season, and they were losing because of it, or you know. Like, I think it's because of it, but
I zoned out during the hockey. So, yeah. I don't care about that. Sorry.
Sports ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think playing the RPQ here gave us all a little bit of experience with.
I'm fired up for LVO.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Ooh, that's gonna be crazy.
I talked enough about my list and what I was running. You know how my.
We don't need to
experience
talk
was.
about that.
Matt, how'd you do?
No, I only played in the first round, so.
Oh, that's right. The double ATST.
Yeah,
didn't work
it
out.
was fun. I actually played against Daniel, and you know, like I said, great guy. Close game until Jeff. How did it go for that with my ATSTs?
Not so good.
No,
I lost both of them, I think, in one turn, or no, two like a turn apart.
pretty close. Yeah, he just literally
He was throwing
cricked them off
so
the
many
field.
crits. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
His
And it was
mortars
like,
were
well,
throwing
there's
crits.
half my army.
If you're losing ATSTs to mortars, that's a bad
Yeah,
day.
it was a bad time. But then I had some family stuff come up, so I actually had to drop and just hang out for the rest of the tournament at least. But
Yeah.
it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I had fun.
How'd you went 2-1?
No, 0-2. I had a bad day too.
Oh.
Yeah. I kind of got a little bit outside of my head on my list because I knew what it was supposed to do, and I wasn't playing to the list strengths. So I think I could have done better, but yeah, just ran out of time on one game, and the other game it came down to kill points. And I made a dumb decision and had my units clustered against Sabine and some bomb guys. And I know how to play against that. I just
Because you
had a
use
brain
that
fart because I use that
a lot.
Yeah, so I know how to defend against it, but I just made poor choices. But I still like my list. It's Jyn, Leia, Sabine, and some Tauntauns. I made a couple changes to it. There were ATRT in there just to make somebody deal with some armor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm looking
I
forward to
like my
playing
list
again.
too. I might swap one of the.
Yeah.
You get in a tank instead of one of the ATSTs.
Hey, I think you should take
but-
the tank in there.
Yeah.
That's good.
I just want to play against a tank because I still have not played
Well, hey,
against
if
a
you
tank
want
yet.
to, paint it up, I'll play it.
Every tank I've played against, I have never been able to get a wound on it. Maybe one, but it's so hard to get wounds on it because you have to get close, which means you're getting shot at hard. And it's got armor 2, I think, so you have to get through the armor. Or it might have
no,
more than
it's
that.
just
It's just
straight
straight up
armor.
armor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It rolls red defense dice. It throws a lot of attack dice. It's nasty. It's a
Pretty
nasty
nice.
unit.
I just like the nice height advantage. Like you can see everything with the ATSTs,
Yeah.
but
Getting those flanks, bro. Yeah. Get a unit of Wookiees, the bowcaster, and the flank,
Ah.
the Pierce.
Yeah.
Oof.
I do some bad pre-game planning. So in the game I lost against the tank, that tournament before that, I recover the supplies was one of the choices, and I had Jyn, and I spaced because somebody talked to me, and I was like, all right, pass. And I passed on recover the supplies. So he was like, all right, we're not doing, or whatever. I just messed up. So
This is a good reminder. If
Yeah.
you're in a competitive event,
pay attention to what you're doing.
don't bother people at the tables. Oh, yeah, that was my first round as we were starting to play, and I think a 5 and a 6-year-old child decided to sit and start playing with my figures.
Matt was like, "Hey, kids, they're somebody's kids."
Yeah.
Oh,
not to quote Letterkenny, but
Yeah.
there's a line that from the show that
definitely.
very apt in that situation.
Yeah, it was a guy over playing 40K across the room. I was like, bro.
and they were having a good old time.
Literally
They're just like
grabbing
pew,
my
pew,
models and
pew.
playing
Like,
with them.
Oh, it's a good thing that you're a patient individual, Matt.
Matt loves kids.
Yeah, I'm not going to prison for that.
All right, so we're gonna get some Clone Wars talking because I feel like it's enough about the RPQ. We're gonna take a quick break and then come back and we'll chit chat about that.
You're listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tatooine Network, recorded on location at Power 9 Games. Whether you're looking for the latest releases from Legion, X-Wing, 40K, Magic, or any of our other extensive inventory of board and card games, head to power9games.com and use coupon code OUTRIDER10 to get 10% off your order. Plus, shipping is free on orders over $100. Now, back to the Outriders.
Welcome back, Outriders. John, Jeff, and Matt here. All right, so we are putting the Galactic Civil War behind us, and we are stepping boldly into the past.
I was gonna say we're
Kind
putting
of.
it behind us, or
Putting it
ahead of
before
us.
of us, and then we move backwards. Is that
We're
how that
going
works?
back to the future.
yeah.
Or future to the backwards? I don't know.
We should have
A more
waited like
civilized time.
we should have waited 20 years and then had the Clone Wars. That's how
Yeah,
it
that'd
usually
be cool.
goes.
Yeah, right?
All right, so whatever anachronism we're doing here, we're talking Clone Wars now. We all got our boxes,
Yeah,
right?
you heard it here last. I feel like everybody has gotten and been playing theirs for months now.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, here
Not
we
me.
are.
Yeah.
Well, we want to talk about like our building experiences first.
All
or-
right, so how many boxes did you buy?
I've just got the one right now,
Okay.
but I'm probably going to pick up a second today and then a couple of like B1 troop boxes. I just wanted to get some starter games in.
Mm-hmm.
That was my goal, and I've nearly got all the droids built in the first starter box.
Okay, so you jumped in first with the droids.
Well, I jumped in first. I played some clone games last weekend.
Okay, so you got the clones built already.
Yeah, the clones were, they were.
I mean, it takes 5 minutes to
Yeah,
put
yeah,
together.
yeah. The bark speeder was the most, finagly part, and that's still like
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
But,
Jeff,
Two boxes.
You got your two
Yeah.
boxes, right?
So I got 2 boxes, split it with a friend. He took droids. I laughed. I took clones and had my army built the next day. And he hadn't even started yet.
Oh yeah, well,
And
that's a multiple day endeavor.
He just finished his, I think, like a couple days ago.
How do they look?
And they look really good. Grievous
good.
looks amazing. So he built both Grievouses, built the pistol.
I'm waiting for Grievous to do it
Yeah.
last.
Yeah. So he built Grievous first, which I don't know if that's a good idea or what. And then he built all of his little droids. And I walked in there because he lives with me right now. Walked in there and like watched him build a couple, and I was like, all right, man, have fun with that. I'm glad I didn't do that. So yeah.
I mean, all right, let's just get it out of the way. Like, there's no reason you have to put 2 pieces for a head.
That seemed a bit extreme.
You don't
Like
need 2
seriously,
the head's 2 pieces.
seriously,
you got
just turn it
both
sideways.
arms.
My God.
It's like 2 pieces that are like
Yeah,
2 millimeters
the
long.
smallest thing. Oh, I was pissed the other night when I was building because I thought I lost
Yeah.
one of the support arms, not one of the main gun arms, but I could not find it for like 30 minutes. Ended up like getting in with my dice somehow, but man, what a relief! Because it's so small. Those B1s are spindly.
Yeah, I'm glad that they did them in hard plastic because I can't
Oh, yeah.
imagine having to deal with the warped,
The softer,
spindly bits,
yeah.
the soft plastic.
No, they had to do the hard plastic,
But they look
And
amazing.
They look really
Yeah.
good when you get them together, but man, it is like, I don't know.
I didn't need that level of customization with droids. Like, having them all be mono pose, whatever, would have been fine because they're droids. They're B1s, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they don't need to have all their own distinct personalities. But that said, having had built my first box of them, once you got, like, the third or fourth one down, like, they're not that hard.
They're not that bad. The weapon joins, I think, are still the most finicky, especially the guy with the bazooka.
Actually, I didn't think those were that bad. The one
Did
with
you do the
bazooka-
backpack with the stowed blaster as well, the E5 or whatever?
Yeah, I saw
No.
that. That one's pretty bad.
Yeah,
It's like very
it doesn't
small points
fit in
sticking
there
there, yeah.
very well at all, unless there's something critical I'm missing.
So whenever I have to build models, if there's like extra accessories that you can just
disregard.
don't.
Yeah, okay.
Like I've got sprues of like every Warhammer box I've ever bought with like, oh, here's extra hand axes you can glue to your fire slayers, like, or they can stay on the sprue.
Yeah, usually that makes sense,
But yeah, I mean, like the droids, once you get like 3 or 4 of them built, I feel like the process gets a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I watched my friend build them, and he just went through and he clipped out like
you didn't
one
offer
model.
to help at all?
No.
Good. Right on. Good deal.
I mean, he's a friend. He's not that close of a friend. But yeah, he just went through and he clipped out one model. So everything he had was for one model, and then he just built all of that one model.
Yeah.
And then he moved on to the next one.
That's what I was doing too.
Yeah. So that way he didn't have to worry about separating things.
I think I was doing all the torsos on a sprue, and then one set of legs, clean them up, glue them together with one of the torsos.
So you did it the hard way then.
I mean, it let the glue dry as I was going through the other models,
Yeah.
because sometimes if it was still try to be putting on heads and bumping an arm and it'd fall off again, I'd just get so mad.
Oh yeah. Well, the arms actually, I took Joe's advice with this, and I glued the hands to the gun, and then once that was
like
dry,
that?
I just basically glued the 2 arms.
The
Like
joints,
pinch them in
yeah.
place.
Just kind of pinch them together.
Yeah.
And
Was that
because
working pretty good
It
for
was
you?
working great, and I was using the plastic cement.
Yeah.
Remember how I said that I read somewhere that you're not supposed to use that, you should use super glue?
Yeah.
Not true. You can totally use the plastic
Really?
cement.
Well, no,
the
the
GW
plastic cement is good because it's a different type of plastic.
Yeah, so I was reading...
but not the actual like GW plastic.
No, that's what I was using.
Oh, really?
And it's worked
Because
fine.
it's the Malifaux type material.
Is it?
Yes, yeah. So you don't have to use super.
No.
Yeah. So, because I was using...
Well, at least I didn't do like all 6 squads yet, so.
How many droids do you have glued to you?
Like I've been pulling super glue off my fingers.
Oh, yeah.
And I usually hate doing super glue for plastic models. I love to use plastic glue whenever I can.
Yeah, so these actually work
We
fine
get
with
a better.
I mean, yeah.
better
Yeah,
fit
you
or
can go. You don't have to do the stupid thing where I'm doing assembly line stuff and waiting for it to dry because it starts getting sticky immediately.
I should have totally told you about that, like...
I thought you
know,
knew.
2 weeks
No,
from
we
now.
were talking. Well, you showed up late, so.
So
I knew.
last weekend we were... I'd read, I don't remember if it was like the Legion Facebook page or something, somebody was complaining about how the new hard plastic droids weren't working with the GW
I had read that
plastic
too,
cement.
so I just that
Yeah.
sucks.
So I was
Okay.
like, oh, that's rough. Well, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go buy another bottle of super glue. I ran out, so I'm like, well, let me just try using this. And lo and behold, it works. So,
Did you do the wall test?
like throw it against the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
were-
super
my,
glue wouldn't even work for that.
my droids were al dente.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I got half of, or what, 1/3 of them, 2 squads done. I bought another box yesterday, and Joe and I are doing a little swapperoo for his second unit of droids for my second box of clones. So at the end of the day, I said I wasn't going to do a full army of either, but
I just
It
want to
got the
have
better
a
of me.
B1 force just because I love the look. I wasn't planning to do any of this stuff, but yeah, I am going to get at least one more starter box and probably 2 boxes of the B1s just to have all 6. And I think 4 for the clones is okay right now.
yeah, I feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly.
They're not going to be my main army. I'm still saying Empire. Also, Norway, what the hell? Send me your freaking iguanodons.
Oh, that's right. Those are coming out, aren't they? I totally forgot.
Apparently, yeah.
So I think the thing with the B1s, the reason why I ended up going with the droids is seeing the stuff for Dooku.
Dooku
I
is
really
going
want
to
to
be
run
good.
Dooku and Grievous together.
Yeah.
He's going to be good.
Although, I got to say, based on our little group chat this morning, you're not very high on the B1s, are you? I know we're
sorry?
or not B2s, excuse me. The
No,
super battle
I don't
droids.
think the B2s are going to be great. I really don't.
They're kind of in that
We
We
same
don't
thing as
know
Wookiees,
much
right?
about them, though, because we don't know about their weapons upgrades
Yep.
or anything else. So
Okay.
I wouldn't be shocked if they had like a reconfigure card.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So they only surge for defense, correct?
don't-
And they
do
have
they? I don't
white
think they
dice
surge
saves.
at all.
Pull it up.
Yeah.
Oh, they have white dice saves. I know
Yeah,
that.
they're white dice saves. They have armor 1.
They have
I know
armor
that.
1.
Armor
which
1.
is
Okay,
pretty
yeah,
sweet.
yeah.
But they're range 1 to 2, same dice as the Wookiees, black and white. I didn't think they surged for anything. I thought
Yeah,
the
you might be
armor
right.
was, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of
Probably.
Droidecas. The Droidecas surge for defense, but
Yeah.
the
I haven't looked at Droidecas yet.
I don't think the B2s do.
I don't think the B2s do either.
So armor 1, okay, so that'll stop one hit. It's
One
as
hit.
good as having a dodge, essentially. So a free dodge.
As long as you're not facing DLTs or rocket launchers or
anything
many
with
other
crits.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Well, but that's only if everything in the dice pool's a crit. I mean, it'll cancel out one hit. So
That's true.
It's essentially as good as having
that's a good
dodge.
point. That is a good point.
And having 3
2 wounds
apiece.
apiece.
It's two.
Yeah.
I just don't think I would rather have B1s, to be honest with you.
You only get 4 units in that model, or in that 4 models in that unit too,
Yeah.
right? Where the B1s you get 6.
Yeah. But actually, no, I think it's only 3. I think it's only 3. It's 48 points for
maybe
3
you're
of
right.
them.
Yeah.
So it's 16 points a model, as opposed to the 6 points a model for a B1 droid.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The heavy weapon.
The
will be
range
good.
1 to 2 is
Well, that actually
Yeah.
might be a good thing.
yeah with the black white,
Well, because of the AI attack.
and there is no surge.
So-
that's true because they got to attack first.
So
Yeah.
if they're within range of something to attack,
Right.
because they have a shorter attack range, it actually may benefit them to not be able to have a
So you can
wider
move up and then shoot instead
Yeah.
of that long range terrible shot.
So there will be a place for them, I think. It just
Yeah.
probably won't be in my list.
Who knows what else is coming out though? We don't know what else is coming out. Special Forces.
Yeah.
I've seen speculation. I've seen some cool speculation, but
Let's
had no idea.
just talk about what
Yeah.
we have in front of
yeah.
us.
So we have enough stuff before we
Yeah.
start going.
I'm
down.
hoping to get in a couple of games this Saturday with actually get to play the
full army.
droid side. Because the whole idea was I'm going to get the starter box so I can at least, talk about the stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
I got a couple games in with the droid or the clones. I actually played. It was a clone mirror match with Jeff.
so much fun.
Yeah,
Not so much for Matt.
No, it was a good game.
It was.
It was fun.
Yeah.
God, I thought I had you for the longest time, and then Obi-Wan versus Obi-Wan.
Well, he took a shot at me with his bark speeder. You
Yeah.
got 5 hits.
Yeah.
I dodged 1 because
Yeah.
I had a dodge token, and I just threw this joke out there like, "Hey, I'm gonna roll 4 surges. Watch this." And I rolled 4 surges.
4 deflects later, my bark speeder on
Wow.
turn 1.
Yeah.
Wait, so on 4 dice, he rolls 4 surges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got documentation of this, right? Like,
I wish I had taken a picture.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, we could go put dice out and pretend.
okay,
Because
reenactment.
it happened.
I
Yeah,
had to
we'll
show
do it
him. I
Civil
was
War
like, "Hey,
style.
look, this just happened."
And it didn't get much better from there on. But
His Obi would swing at my Obi-Wan, get like 5 hits. I
Yeah.
would get I would dodge some, and then I would get all defense.
Did your Obi-Wan have the high ground?
No. Yes. Sure.
we had pretty equal ground.
Yeah.
We were kind of grinding
Yeah.
on each other for a while.
Yeah,
there.
it was just a point here, a point there.
Obi-Wan was there too.
Yeah.
This isn't that kind of podcast, Matt.
But I had
That is.
I had tenacity on my Obi-Wan, and every time I was rolling 7 hits or 7 hits and crits.
Yeah.
It was every time I was rolling that many. Obi-Wan was he was
But he's
strong
a
with
beast.
the Force that day.
I really had a lot of fun with how he plays. I think he might be one of my favorite commanders
Yeah.
right now because
Nice.
he just
The
hits
pose looks
all the
great.
right boxes for me. Plus, he is awesome.
The Sorosu
Yeah,
mastery
the
is
Sarasu Master,
great.
which I didn't realize until we started playing how good the Sarasu Mastery is, that you can actually deflect in melee.
In
too.
melee, yeah, that's huge.
And then Dooku's coming up. I know it's not
Yeah.
out yet, but
Right,
his
right.
I can't-
Makashi?
yeah, that stance.
Yeah.
He gets through a lot of the immune to pierce stuff. So because he's a great duelist. So that's kind of cool.
And I think the more we start seeing Jedis and Force users on the table, that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I know you hate those different keywords, but man, it makes such a big difference to how units play. Like it's granted, he might be the only unit in the game that has that keyword, but it's so
it's
cool
so
thematically.
flavorful, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Which one? Sorry.
The Sorosu mastery.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Makashi
Dooku's,
Mastery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah. There's a special rules kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah,
But,
and Grievous has got with the Jedi Hunter.
Jedi Hunter,
special
yeah.
rule. Yeah. So that's one thing I love about.
For commanders,
You know,
it's such a good
CIS.
commanders and operatives. Such a good thematic rule.
It's funny because you were talking about like, oh, don't play the Wookiees the way you want to and just
Yeah.
charge in there, which it's kind of atypical, it seems, for FFG because they've got all these great, very reinforcing the flavor of the units. Just the Wookiees didn't happen to get on that
I feel like
one,
Wookiees are the only ones that don't fit that.
Right,
Every
right.
other unit they have, it fits the fluff and it feels thematic on the table.
Yeah.
Wookiees don't. So fix that, FFG.
Let the
Get 'em
Wookies
some
win.
damn vibro knives.
Yeah,
or
let the
ray
Wookiees
blades
win.
or
That's the
whatever.
rule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just give them a melee weapon with Pierce. That's all I ask.
I mean, if you're gonna rip somebody's arms off, that counts for something, right?
Yeah. And then that arm is holding a vibro knife, and then you swing that in combat.
But I haven't got a chance to play with either faction yet. Looking
You were
forward to
teaching
this
games
weekend.
on Saturday, so that was good
Yeah.
for you. You were, 2 brand new players, like full-size game, I think you were running them through, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a smaller 400-point game, but then Joe got a little overzealous with building his clones.
As he does.
Yeah. If you're listening, Joe, it's
you know how you are.
Yeah. You don't build clones, you grow them. Yeah. It takes a couple weeks.
I mean, this is also the guy who might be the only person who I know who paints and assembles their models faster than I do.
I think his update was there was 200,000 clones ready to go with another million on the way. So
pretty much. Yeah. I left for Sacramento on Monday, so I bought my box, pretty much assembled my droids, and that was about it. And I get back last night, and he's got a picture of his entire clone army done, painted, looks amazing.
So I bought Rebels last time, or this year last time, and I've got 2 Rebel models painted. Or no, 4, but one of them is not done yet. So 3.5.
You need to stop spending time with all these, like, range ruler concepts.
But they look so good.
You know what looks good,
I thought you were going to say his family.
More
Stop spending time with his kids.
Yeah, don't do that either.
I do that sometimes.
But yeah, his stuff looks phenomenal. So I need to get my droids at least partially done by Saturday, so we can actually play a game.
Just paint dip them. I know you love that.
I think I've got 4 more B1s and then Grievous to build, and then my starter box is done.
So I know we usually, do a separate hobby segment or whatever, but I'm just gonna do a quick little B1 thing. So how I did my B1s, because
how'd you do them?
I did them pretty quick actually. I did most of them last night. I just don't have them based yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I had them all.
I didn't see pictures yet.
Well, I'll show you some pictures when they're done. There's no bases on it yet.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to do without the bases. But essentially, all I did was I did a zenithal highlighting for priming. So I primed them gray. I did a Xandri dust all around the model, and then except for I did it at a 45-degree angle. So from the bottom up, they're still dark.
Okay.
Did Xandri dust all the way around, and then zenithal highlight of white, or the skeleton bone.
Oh, okay.
Whatever
Screaming Skull or whatever it used to be.
Whatever the contrast paint is.
Yeah.
Wraithbone, sorry.
Oh, Wraithbone, okay.
So I did Wraithbone from the very top.
So you used the contrast.
No.
I did, yeah. So I know I've been kind of anti-contrast.
Bashing on the contrast.
And I still think that for most things, I don't like them. They do have their time and place, and they're a tool, not a cure-all, I guess.
Okay.
So I used a mix of Skeleton Horde
just dipped it in there and was like, done.
I did
whap.
just there was
hit
no
a little
debate.
conveyor belt. Just next model.
Somehow C-3PO's head ended up
How
on one
perverse.
of them. No, so basically I think to use the contrast paints, ignore everything that Duncan said about using them, which I know we all love Duncan, but don't just put one thick coat and forget it.
Okay.
Thin it down with contrast medium or water, and then as you get it, apply it across the model. Look for those flat surfaces where they tend to pool up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Take a little bit more contrast medium and pull it down.
Oh, really?
Just pull off.
Because really all it is a heavily pigmented wash.
Essentially, yeah.
So you want to get it in those recesses, but on your flat areas, you want to pull those pools off, because otherwise it looks like you just dipped it.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I did was I used a 50-50 mix of the Agoros Dunes, which is like a darker, a light tan, dark yellow kind of color, and then the Skeleton Horde. So I did about 50-50 mix of those two, mixed some contrast medium in with that mixture, and then, just basically pulled down the pooling, and then once that all dried, I took the Terminatus Stone dry wash, or dry brush, that GW makes.
Yeah.
And just gave it a real light dry brushing.
Cool.
And caught all the raised edges, and it looks phenomenal. I'm happy with it, and I did all of the one box in one night.
You Chaos Black the weapons, or?
No, I just used the contrast paints again. I actually used the contrast black, because that is one of the other paints that I really like.
That's one of the good ones? Okay.
Is if you thin that down a little bit, and you just put that on fairly lightly, it gives a nice, defined black gray color, like a dark gray more than anything.
So I don't think the contrast paints are bad, because I've used them on faces. That's what I use. I bought 3 different colors for faces.
the 2 models you've painted?
Yeah. Yeah. 3 colors for 2 faces.
I mean, you spent 3 months on Sabine.
She looked great.
She looks
though.
phenomenal. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think contrast paints have their place. It's just you have to know how to use them. And I remember saying a while back I thought they were going to be good for droids because of that reason. You can just throw it on there, and then knowing how to use it is the other thing. And the other, GW said, heavy coat blah blah blah, and a lot of people are saying that. But yeah, I think you're right.
I think it was
Pay
just
attention to what the coat's doing.
Yeah, I think it was just a marketing ploy to try to like play off the too thin coats.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, we'll just do one thick coat.
Gotcha,
Like, so that was kind of like their way of selling it, but really that's not how it should work.
Well, and it's for not necessarily Legion, but for GW stuff, all their Warhammer, War Machine stuff, which is different models, and I mean, I don't know how different they are than.
I think because of the fact that there isn't really, I mean, even the B1s, it's a horde army, but it's not like the model count isn't going to be what it is for, GW undead army with.
But the styling is different
skeletons.
too,
right?
Because you're talking about robots versus all these organic creatures, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot more. There's a lot more lines and crevices and cracks on GW stuff, I think.
It depends on the model.
Yeah, it depends
I mean,
on the
Space
model,
Marines
sure.
don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, that's true.
So, what are you going to do for your basing? What color of Geonosis red are you going to put on there?
Man, so I was thinking about doing Geonosis. And
I'm going to
then-
do Geonosis
well,
because it's easy.
You and everyone else in our local meta.
I don't care.
So now I'm like, all right. So I think I'm going
Iron
fully-
oxide, here we go.
And the GW technical paints that like Martian Iron Crust or whatever. I mean, those are great.
Yeah.
Like, you
It looks
can't ask-
really good, and yeah,
I
I'm gonna
am
do it.
resolved to actually paint up my B1s just because I do love them. So I know we were talking about you've got like a little base maker roller for green stuff. So
Yeah.
do like cobblestones. I'm gonna do like a Naboo.
There you go.
Yeah, Green Stuff World makes some really cool rolling pins.
Right.
And you use that with either like Super Sculpey or Green Stuff, and you basically, I mean, Joe and I sat there one day and like rolled out about 200 of these bases.
Oh, damn.
Basically bought a box of Super Sculpey and just like he would make the pancakes, I would roll them out, and then
What's
we'd
the
cut them into
easy
little
bake
pieces.
oven? Like you're
Yeah, this
basically
is
easy
it,
bake
yeah.
ovening.
Oh, that's essentially what we were doing.
Two grown ass
It's made
men.
with a 60-watt bulb, but the secret ingredient is love.
All right, first of all, the grown ass men is only a reference to our height and our
Yes.
size, and
Yes.
not to our maturity level.
Yeah, the giant
no,
beards.
they're
Yeah,
grown
yeah.
ass men.
Yeah. So yeah, we
Your emphasis was
Tiny
wrong.
rolling pins. You have an apron on while you're doing this.
kiss the chef. Yeah. So we basically rolled out about 200 of those things for AOS, but yeah, I think they would look really great for Naboo.
Yeah.
Was it Theed?
Yes,
Capital
exactly.
City, yeah.
Well
So-
done.
Yeah, that'd be a good themed army.
Yeah.
So the only thing with those though is we'll have to make sure we roll them out kind of thin. You're supposed to kind of roll it out to about 1/8 of an inch to keep it from warping, but with AOS and for most GW games, height doesn't matter quite as much as it does in Legion.
Yes.
So
Because you got called out one of the shots with your Wookiee sword
Oh my
sticking above a hedge.
Oh my god. Okay, well
I can see him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that
Just bend all your droids over.
so modeling for advantage.
they're in stowed position.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind, thankfully, being an experienced Wookiee player, I knew it ahead of time and basically had to clarify it with the terrain, was, the Wookiee leader has got the sword that sticks up just a little bit above everybody else.
He's a tall guy, too.
He is. He's no short guy. So he's got that sword that sticks up about 6 inches over his head. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but it sticks up enough where it's...
It's what you tell people is 6 inches.
That's the same as Luke's saber. I mean, I know there's been
Yeah.
games where Luke's saber's is running behind a building and somebody's like, I can see your lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yet another
What?
advantage for General Kenobi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I basically had to clarify ahead of time, like, hey, look, so his sword's sticking up. We calling that part of the model, and that's going to be line of sight derived from the top of that model. And the opponent said, yeah, so all right, that was what we ruled.
I'm going to heat mine up and move it down.
As long as it was... Never mind.
That's modeling for advantage, Jeff.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I mean-
you can't do that.
But yeah, back to the original point. The pavement things, we'll try to keep it thin so it doesn't, give you
Yeah.
a serious advantage or disadvantage either way.
But yeah, I'll probably pick up a couple of those contrast paints. Try it out.
I think it's a quick route to go.
Yeah. Because I need you doing my shore troopers. And
Well,
I mean,
I'm
I've
not
seen
gonna
you.
use-
I've seen you paint stuff. You're not bad.
I'm not bad. I just don't like it very much.
Oh, that was the ugly truth I discovered when I saw all of his old Warhammer Fantasy models. It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
You
Matt
can paint. Yeah.
What is this? What is this I've been doing all this time?
You've been keeping me away from having to do it.
But I can't act like I'm doing it, just out of the goodness of my heart. He did give me a ton of old Warhammer Fantasy Empire models.
Yay! I'm
that he no
happy
longer
they
uses,
get to
so-
live on somebody else's
Yeah,
battlefield.
and on new bases.
Did you do the Captain on Griffin, by the way?
I didn't yet, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing
I
want
to see pictures of that one because I love that model. That's a good model.
It's good, and honestly, I'm not going to do a whole lot to change it. I'm going to do a little bit more dry brushing on it.
That was a custom base I got for it, too.
Yeah, that's going away.
Oh, is it?
Well, I mean, the bases on AOS are different.
Oh,
now.
That's true. It is on the square base.
Yeah.
And that was a sweet perch.
Weren't you switching some of your bases out because of that same
Yeah,
reason?
I've got my fantasy army. I've got my beastmen ready to go if we ever decide to play that. My goal is to have like one army for every game that we could possibly play in here. So
my goal is to have like 3 armies for every game that I probably will never play, and we'll just paint and have them sitting there and collecting dust.
I mean, they'll look
my
really pretty.
My goal was to have one army, and then they announced clones, and I was like, well, damn. And then they released more articles about clones.
Oh, wait till the wait till they make official the Scum and Villainy.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of stuff to go through with the Clone Wars sets yet. So no Scum and Villainy talk yet.
After the Mandalorian next year.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah, because you know that there's going to be some stuff coming out for that everyone is going to want to get their hands on.
Well, I mean that IG-11 or whatever that they talked about, that looked pretty cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anything else you want to talk about with Clone Wars?
No, I'm excited to get some more games in and to play it a bit, but I think I will be sticking with, Empire for the most part for, competitive.
You would.
Finger quotes.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the droids for a little while.
Yeah?
I've had a lot of fun with Rebels.
Good.
I feel like I've got a good grasp on them. I'm going to try out some droids for a bit.
You want to trade in your white T-shirt saves for different white T-shirts?
Worse white T-shirt saves? Yeah, all this time getting, these surges on defense.
Maybe it'll feel good when you put the rebel coat back on.
Yeah. Oh, these saves are so great.
Oh, man. I get to surge.
2 out of 6. It's beautiful. Is it 2 out of 6 or 3 out of? I don't remember.
For
it's bad.
Rebels?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 out of 6.
2 out of 6,
it's a 33% chance. But yeah,
I'm excited
to
to
mess
roll.
around with the 18% chance with the droids.
I'm excited to roll red dice for a change.
Yeah, you going to come down this Saturday and get some more games in?
Maybe we'll see. I got to get some games in with my friend. So.
No, you don't.
Yeah. You don't have
friends.
friends.
Or bring him down, too.
Oh, a friend.
Jeez.
Yeah. He exists.
Just because he lives at your house doesn't mean you can't let him out of the basement ever.
Well, I mean, it depends.
Right.
You got to find the key first.
So we got some Patreon.
Yeah,
right?
we've got our giveaway for the month because I think we were late on last month, so we're just gonna do it now. But congratulations to Nick Olmstead who got one of the Barricada shirts.
Nice.
I've messaged you on Patreon, so just let me know what size and all that. And also to Benjamin Duran who has won a $25 squad box. And again, just let me know what you want. We'll send it right out.
Just to clarify, you said squad box, not squat box, right?
Squat box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait.
Okay.
What?
What's?
I'm so confused.
That's fair.
I look away for 1 second.
Thank you, everybody, for your continued support on the Patreon. It is much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think I'll pretty much wrap it up for this week. We'll get some games in with the droids and clones.
I really want to try some droid games.
Well, I was going to give a quick update about the
Invader League.
Invader League.
Oh,
yeah.
We really didn't during the news section, so we'll just catch it next time. It'll be fine. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was just talking to LJ about it, and they're going into single elimination. I think in the next 2 weeks that'll start. He said there's already a droid, 2 clones, and 3 Imperial players that have qualified for that. So I was surprised to see the clones. No Rebels yet. But he said there's a good chance that they just haven't played their games yet. And then I was asking him.
Say Kingsley's doing.
Rebels.
So.
Yeah, I think the game I watched of his last week, he just went 3-0 with the triple tauntaun list that he had. And then I was asking about what units he had seen on, out there. Tank, ATST, the 1.4 FD, tauntauns. R2 is out there running around grabbing points.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
He's saying that the droids are, they're doing stuff, but they should see some 2 to 3 players in the final. So it's cool that we have a lot more armies and a lot more variation in lists, which I think is exciting.
It's the Wild West again.
Well, for the Empire and Rebels, not so much for the droids and clones. They just don't have anything yet.
Here's the question I have, and I don't know if you can answer this, but so we saw just recently a bunch of the cards for Dooku get spoiled because somebody released some screenshots or some photos from Chile.
Yeah.
And presuming those are actually real, are those going to be added into
I
the
believe
TTS?
So because when I was talking to
they
LJ,
were using it before because I thought.
Well, they had the ones that they had spoiled.
And LJ was using Dooku.
Yeah, but they didn't have all of them.
Yeah.
I think they were missing his 2-pip and maybe his 1-pip. I think they only had the 3-pip.
Okay.
But I think they're gonna include him because they're allowing you to change your armies between games too, which is a different rule for a tournament. And I don't know if they're doing that because stuff is coming out so much, that they're adding all this
spanning
different
quite
stuff.
a bit of time.
Yeah,
so.
and they're letting you play stuff that's not quite out yet. And I mean, you're playing on the computer, which is different, not official tournaments. And yeah, the tournament runs all the way until December, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they do put those cards in there.
Here's the thing that I'm looking forward to. Once we actually have official word on the Rex and the Dooku cards,
Yeah.
we get to do another ranking the top command cards.
Oh,
I wasn't there for that last
You
time,
weren't.
so-
No.
So this will be your first time you get to
we're going to put you.
participate.
You're going to
Okay.
be the commissioner this year, so it actually gets done. How about that?
Okay, sure.
No, I did it last year. You're talking about the March Madness.
Is that not what we're talking
No,
about?
No,
Oh.
we're talking about the command cards. Remember how we ranked what are the best
right.
command cards for each pip?
Okay.
So we've seen a few more
You're still going
commanders
to be the
added,
commissioner
and then
for that.
Okay.
yeah. So I think we'll do that once we get some official
Nice.
Rex and Dooku cards.
I really want to, after a couple of months, do like we did for the Wookiees, and again do a Wookiee-themed one, and have like the battle for Kashyyyk with clones and Wookiees versus a grand droid.
I think that'd be cool.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do like a
So-
doubles match.
Yeah.
Oh, another battle for Kashyyyk? But
Yeah.
why wouldn't it be like a clone battle, like a Geonosis battle? What was the battle after in the movie? Where
There
they
was a
had
battle
the-
for Kashyyyk.
Was that battle for Kashyyyk?
Yeah.
In
Oh,
Revenge
okay.
of the Sith? Yeah.
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Trying to go to Geonosis. What about him? What about them Wookiees?
All right, guys. I think I'll pretty much wrap it up for this week. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will check you in 2 weeks.
You've been listening to the Legion Outriders podcast, a member of the Radio Free Tatooine Network.
Only now, at the end, do you understand?
For more from the Outriders, make sure you like us on Twitter at Legion Outriders, subscribe to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Legion Outriders, and make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. Thanks for listening.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.